Hey y'all, and welcome back to the channel. Today I am walking you through exactly how I do my cash stuffing. But instead of just counting money, we are breaking down the why behind each category because cash stuffing isn't just about envelopes, it is about intention. And if you're new to budgeting or want a simple that actually makes sense, this one is for you. Before we put any money into envelopes, let's talk about what you will need to start cash stuffing. First, you're going to need your budget. Your budget is your guide. It's going to remind you of how much money you are stuffing and where each one of those dollars are going. So, if you want to see how I budgeted for this cash stuffing video, I will link it in the description. You need your cash, the stuff. Yeah, envelopes because it's a cash stuffing, right? Right. Anyway, so make sure that you have gone to the bank, you have your correct denominations, and you have your cash. You also will need something to put your cash in. Now, this is the part that is going to vary from person to person, depending on how you like to keep your money. So, I have chosen to use a simple binder such as this. There is nothing too fancy about it. I got this binder off of Amazon over a year ago. It is just this faux leather outside. This is a magnetic clasp here. It looks the same on the front and the back. And then on the inside, I did opt to get these vinyl envelopes with the zip because I'm always just afraid that my little money is going to fall out. It does have pockets on the side. I usually use these for gift cards when I have them. So that's what I use these for. Sometimes I'll use this little pocket for a receipt that I have to keep up with. And then sometimes I'll keep a little pin right here if I need to make a note or I'm at the bank or something like that. A lot of people will get these customized and will have the vinyl on top of here as decoration. And I plan to customize my envelopes, but I'm gonna be real with y'all. Listen, when I first started, I was busy. I had a lot going on. I really was just trying to get out of debt. I didn't care nothing about the envelope being cute. What I needed was function. So all I did was take an index card and a permanent marker, and I wrote the name of my envelope right here. And then I stuck that index card in there, and it legit has been holding up for almost a year now. Before that, let me hold on. Before that, let me grab something. Let me grab something. Bam, I had a sticky note. Before that, I would actually put my category on the sticky note, put it inside the envelope, kind of like wrap it around the money. And y'all see when I do it a little bit later because I actually need to take one of these out. And then I would keep it moving. So when you first get started, just do what works. It doesn't always have to be what is cute and the most aesthetic. Just do what is going to get the job done and keep you motivated to keep going. All right. So now that we have gone over those tidbits, let's get into the actual cash stuffing. And as promised from my last video, I told you all that I would go into my thought process about how I decide how much money is going to go into each envelope. And that is why I have my budget right here. This is where we do the save and the cash out. If you do not know what I'm referring to, go ahead and watch that budgeting video because then this part will make a whole lot more sense. All right, so let's just run on down my categories. First, we have school, and I decided to put $10 in school. So before I do this, let me go ahead and count it. Now, I count my money at the bank. A lot of people come on here and count their money. Baby, by the time I get right here, this money is already counted because I do not want to leave the bank and not have the correct amount of money or denominations. And you already know if you leave the bank and you try to go back and say, I didn't have such and such, and them people not going to give you that money. So make sure you got the right money before you leave. So if anything, I'm just separating this now. I don't really need to count it because I have already done that. These are my ones. Now, when you're watching other cash stuffing videos, you might see people that have the cash trays, and those are very cute. Those are nice. But I don't want you to feel like you have to have that in order to get your cash stuffing done. It's cool to have, but it is not something that is required to get the job done. So as long as you have what you need to be able to stuff these envelopes and keep this money separated and saved for when you need it, then that is the biggest thing. All right, so I'm just going to sit my 50 right here along with my 100, and it did not stay. All right, I'm gonna just sit y'all to the side because it's only one. School is going to get $10 for school. And for any envelope for that matter, I always go in and count how much money I already have in there. I already had two 20s, so that's $40. So all I need to do is add this 10. So I have 20, 40, $50. $50 is going to do a couple of things. I already know that my sunshine dues are $20. So I at least have $20 to be able to do that. If there is somebody's birthday at the beginning of the school year, I usually set aside about $10 to be able to add to a card or to just give if that is what I'm feeling inclined to do. And then the other $20 will be if I didn't bring lunch that day, then I'll use that for school. But I try to stick to things that are school related only. So $50 is going to be plenty enough money for me to join Sunshine and contribute if there's a birthday, a baby shower, if I just want to buy somebody some lunch, something of that nature for school. So I do not keep more than $50. That is the limit that I have set to have in there at all times. And so once I reach my 50, then I go ahead and I stop stuffing unless I need to use the money. So school will get $50. And I can't remember if I said this, but this is the school that I work at. I probably did not mention it in this video, but I do work in education. And I just feel like working at a school is like a different culture and environment, and you run into things that you wouldn't if you were working in some other kind of industry. So, yeah. Now, let's move on to children. Speaking of children, y'all see my envelope? Do y'all see that? Children did that. My toddler got a hold to my cash stuffing binder and she had her way. You hear me? This pink binder, I actually just started to use this one because I used to have a different color binder, but she has colored it herself. So that's gonna be hers. Children, I have decided to put $50 in children, but since they went on a trip with my cousin, I gave the $50 straight to my children. They went on a day trip this past weekend, and so I don't have any physical cash to put in here. So we're going to skip to the next envelope. Kids' clothes. As you see, this envelope is empty. I don't have any money in kids' clothes because the money that I did have in here is the money that I used to go school shopping with. I took the money out, I went to the bank, deposited that money to make sure that when I got ready to order uniforms, school supplies, book bags, things of that nature, that the money was there. I am not going to stuff this with too much money, but I did want to put a few dollars in there. So I set aside $82 to go to my kid clothes fund. 32 of that I left in the bank because I want to buy my kids Spirit t-shirts. I know that those Spirit t-shirts cost $16. I am going to buy my daughter two Spirit t-shirts. So that is why I left the $32 in the bank. The $50 is what I am leaving out because they do have a couple of things that they still need, such as undergarments. I go ahead and buy all of those things at the beginning of the school year, but they need some undergarments, like a pencil box, the smaller things that I didn't necessarily want to get online. And that is what I will use this $50 for. I think I just closed the envelope. Personal, struggling, y'all. Wow. Personal is my next envelope. This is for me to get anything of my choosing. If I see a shirt I want, I get it. If I want some Dunkin' Donuts, get it. Anything that I feel like I might want in that term span that is personal to me, it's not something for the house, it's not something for the kids, for my husband, for work, anything like that is just for me to indulge in, then it comes from this envelope. So I already set aside $20 for personal. And even though $20 is not a lot, to be honest, child, it's the first to go, I promise you. Because if I ever run short on something else, that I usually just take it from personal. And it's also the first thing to get chopped. If anything ever happens, like say I'm low on funds and I'm not able to cash stuff every single envelope, that's one of the ones that I won't stuff, unfortunately. All right, next is car maintenance. In my video, I was telling you all that car maintenance is for my smaller car maintenance. So this is for if I need to get my oil changed, if I need to go to the car wash, any kind of small thing, or if I found something that I wanted for my car off of Amazon, any kind of small thing like that, that is what comes from this car maintenance fund. So I have $14 here. I know $14 sounds like an arbitrary number, but it is not. Okay, so first of all, I get a car wash once per month. It is already mid July, so I will not be getting another car wash until August. And when I say car wash, I mean the outside of the car. I'm not talking about the inside. On the inside, every single week, I vacuum it out, I wipe down the seats, all of those good things. I mean, actually, like going through the car wash, I only do that once per month. I haven't needed to do it more than that so far. That usually costs me $20. That $20 I am not going to stuff right now. I'm actually going to wait until August when I actually get ready to get the car wash. So, how did I come up with $14? The last time that I got a oil change, which was actually like last week, my husband said that it cost approximately $80. So he also told me that they said that this particular oil change should last me 6 months. This was my first oil change with this vehicle because I just got this vehicle 3 months ago. I am going to roll with what the mechanic said, and I'm going to divide that $80 by 6 months. So $80 divided by 6 months. All right, so $80 divided by 6 months means that I need $13.33. I'm just going to round that up to 14 $14 per month I need to set aside to be able to pay for that oil change once that oil change needs to be done. So as you see here, I went on ahead and I put $14. Now remember, this is not a monthly budget, but this is a paycheck budget. So ordinarily, I would only need to put $7 in there because $7 from one check is $7 from another check will equal up to that $14 per month. But since this is the middle of the month and I will not get another check in July, I'm just going to go ahead and put the full 14 in there now. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then when August, the 1st of August rolls around, I'll start with the $7. Done. All right, next thing is house. House is small items as well. That's your paper towels. That's your cleaning supplies if you need it. If I want to change up a little curtain or something in here, then I will use this money. House already had $20 in. I don't have anything in particular that I'm saving for right this second. So I'm simply going to add another 20. I try to make 20 my standard. If I have a category that does not have a particular math calculation breakdown, then I try to at least give $20 if I can. If I cannot, then I won't even do that. But I was able to do that this term. So house will get $20. So now house has $40. And you all do not fret if you don't have money to put in your envelopes. Like there has been times that I have not been able to put money in my envelopes either, just depending on what was going on at the time. So I don't ever want you to get on here and see people doing cash stuffings and think that they just always have it all together. There's always money to go around. Now everybody runs into those hard times. They might not just put theirs on camera. So don't feel bad if you don't have the money because if you budget, you stick to the budget, you're disciplined, you're intentional, you'll eventually get to the point where you are making enough headway to be able to set some money aside for things such as this. All right, let's move on to soccer. Okay, like I said, my two oldest children play soccer. My oldest child, who is 13, plays travel soccer. So that means that we spend a whole lot of time in and out of hotels, in and out of different cities in our region. We live in the South. So a lot of times, unless she's going to a regional meet, which is only once every year, we are going to Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, those states for her to play in soccer games. I have to set aside a good bit of money for soccer because my contribution to the soccer fund is for food while we are wherever we're going, is to help with gas, but it also pays our soccer fees and anything else that comes along with soccer. The only thing that I do not save right here for is her uniforms. Her uniforms happen every 2 years. I've already paid for her uniform that she's wearing right now. She'll have that for another 2 years. So I can pause on that for right now because usually I have to save for soccer fees and I have to save for the soccer uniform. But right now, this is strictly for fees, for tournaments, food, gas, things of that nature. If you were watching my last video, I told you all that I am a dual income household. What my husband pays for in terms of soccer is their tuition and he buys cleats. So he handles tuition and cleats. I get uniforms and fees. That's how we decided to divide up the responsibility for that. My middle child just got his uniforms. My oldest child just got her uniforms. We actually just left a tournament in Dallas at the end of June. So I totally wiped out this envelope, and that is why it is empty. So we do have two tournaments coming up in August. So I need to go ahead and jumpstart this envelope. I already know that my car usually keeps gas. It'll probably take me about $60 to fill it up if I had to fill it up from empty. And then we'll catch like some fast food on the way. We usually try to sit down and eat at least one time while we're there over the weekend, and then the other meals will be something fast, or we'll get hotel breakfast or things of that nature. Oh, I forgot. My husband also covers the hotels. I was like, I know he pays for something else for soccer. I couldn't remember what it was. He also does the hotels. I do not have to pay for hotels out of this money either. So anyway, I'm going to allocate $75 to just jumpstart the soccer fund because we will be traveling soon. So I said $75 for soccer. So there is 20, 40, 60, 75 is what is going to go into the envelopes. Medical. This says 'tis the season. This says medical. So I used to use this envelope for my Christmas money. And honey, at one point it just got to be too much money to be carrying around in an envelope. So I changed this to medical. Did I ever change out the index card? No, of course I didn't. Ain't nobody got time for that, in the words of Sweet Brown. So what I'm going to do is show you what I used to do before I even put the index cards in there. So I just have just a regular sticky note here. And all I'm going to do is write the word medical on it so that I will know that this is what this money is for. And for medical, I have $35. Medical is for my medical copays that I might have to pay when I go to the doctor. Usually, my children do not have copays thanks to my husband's insurance. I, however, do have a copay. If I go to my PCP, it is going to be $35. If I go to the dentist, it is going to be $28. I just went to the dentist in June and I had a credit on my account, so I didn't have to pay anything. I am due to go to my PCP. So that is why I specifically set aside $35. I only have to go to my PCP every 6 months. So I have time to build back up that $35. And now, for my next check, I will add to this $35 to start going to my next dentist bill. If I go to the dentist and I still have a credit, then I will continue to build this money. Medical is probably not anything I'm ever going to empty the envelope out on to allocate to something else, because what I have realized happens sometimes is that you might have those one-off things that you need to have done, and I would love to be able to have some money just sitting there to make a dent if we ever have to have a large bill for some reason. In my budgeting video, I explained that my son had to have a sleep study done, and I paid $200 for him to do it that particular night. And then once he got done and the bill came, I still owed them almost $800. So if I got money stacking in this medical and something like that happens, I would love to be able to use it. Unfortunately, I didn't have any money in this little medical envelope, so I had to put that on the payment plan. But I'm about to pay my very last installment of that $800, so praise the Lord. All right, so I said 35 for medical, so that's just 20, that's just 10, and that's just 5. And since I do not have my sticky note ready, all I do, this is what I used to do, put the why I said sticky note, I meant my what's these things called? Index card ready. I just put the sticky note on top of the money. I just fold it over a little bit and I place it inside of the envelope. Boom, like that. All right. So this last $100 is for gifts and birthdays. As you see, there's no envelope here for gifts and birthdays. Why? Because I just started this fund. I just started this fund. I done hit the camera. We keep it all the way live around here. I just started this fund because I have been caught too many times not having money to go get somebody a card and a gift card or a card and a gift. That is what this money is for. Now, how I knew to pull out $100. Most of my family have birthdays all in a row. My husband is April, my daughter is May, my son is June, I'm July. I actually just had a birthday this week. By the time you're watching this, my birthday will have passed, but my birthday is this week. Anyway, the last person to have a birthday is my youngest child that I just had. She's about to turn 2 in September. So what this $100 is for is that I have committed to setting aside $50 per check to go towards her 2-year-old birthday. So whatever we do, whatever we eat, whatever gift we have, all of that will come out of the money. If whatever we decide to do, I don't have it all to cover, then my husband just covers it. So if I ever don't have enough money, what I always do is tell him beforehand, this is how much I'm saving, this is how much it looks like I'm going to have. And then we already have a ballpark for, what we'll need to add, if anything. She's 2, so it's not going to be anything major or whatever. It's just going to be something to celebrate her turning 2. And hopefully, whatever I save is going to cover it. I actually already know what we're going to do, but since we haven't been to the place in so long, I don't remember how much it's going to be. So until I get my life all the way together, I am going to just put this in this envelope that I got from the bank the other day when I got my cash for my cash stuffing. I'm going to fold it on over like this. And I am going to put it in the bank so that I know that it is back there. And then I will just add in my envelopes whenever I get the chance. So we have gone through everything. We have talked about how I go through each one of my cash stuffings and I kind of rationalize why I put the amount of money that I choose. Like I said, these are fluid, these change depending on what I have going on. These are my main categories, though. To me, this is a lot for the amount of money I don't have. I feel like I spread myself kind of thin, but I don't know which one of these categories I could take out, to be honest. So this is what I'm rocking with right now. And when I can make my money stretch a little bit further, if I need to add more envelopes, I'll add more envelopes. But this is my base. So there you have it. And that is my full cash stuffing breakdown for this paycheck. Let me know in the comments what categories you stuff, or if you're just getting started. If you haven't already, go ahead, check out my full budgeting video to see where all of this money even came from. And don't forget to grab my free money mindset guide in the description below. Like, subscribe so you never miss an upload from me, and I will see you in the next one. Keep it classy and keep it stacking. Bye, y'all.